What's good, everybody, man? This is your guy Manny, and this is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. Give me one moment. Got to make my chair a little higher, but tough show to do today. But I just needed to get my mind off some things. We're gonna talk fantasy football. I'm gonna give you guys my starts and sits for Week 8. It's gonna be a quick little show, about 30 minutes, and I'm gonna get this thing on and popping. I'm gonna go ahead and run my intro, and we'll go from there. Headpiece said, I don't know if you guys heard anything I said, but this is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. Welcome to the show. I'm gonna run my intro. Mr. Curly Wolf, man, what's good, man? Appreciate you hopping on the show. If you got any questions about fantasy starts and sits for Week 8, please drop them in the comment section, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get to those. So, plenty going on. We don't know if Kareem Hunt gets traded today, tomorrow, or if he gets traded after the Sunday's game. I think the deadline is on the 1st, and the 1st is on a Tuesday. So we'll see if any deals pop off before Tuesday. That's what it's looking like right now. It's looking like, okay, today's Friday. Who's getting traded? Who's not getting traded? And if people do get traded, how does that affect the game on Sunday? So if nobody gets traded today, especially like guys like Cam Akers, they're gonna get traded at any time, right? But we don't know what happens. William Jackson III. There's so many different players that may or may not get traded. I'm going to pull up some information, and then we're going to go ahead and run through some starts and sits for the week. Also, for starts and sits of the week, know that Aaron Rodgers, he's struggling right now. The whole squad is struggling right now. Tom Brady's struggling right now with the whole divorce thing with his wife and everything. But as far as Aaron Rodgers, Alan Lazard is out. So if Alan Lazard is out, you have to think, who are they going to pass the ball to? Christian Watson is also questionable. So that means Romeo Doubs could be targeted up to 15 times. It's going to be the Romeo Doubs show and the Robert Tonyan show. So those are the two guys that I see that are most likely going to get the bulk of the work. Denver versus Jacksonville, right? That early morning game, that early Sunday morning game. We don't know how this game is going to turn out. It could be good. It could be bad. The Broncos... they need this win badly. Both teams are 2-5. Russell Wilson could play well. This could be a bounce back game for Russell Wilson. He's playing, so if he's playing, that means Cortland Sutton's stock is up. Also, guys like Jerry Jeudy, those guys could have good games. In terms of Jacksonville, I like Christian Kirk a lot this week, although Patrick Surtain is a beast, but I don't think Surtain is going to travel with Christian Kirk because Christian Kirk is more of a slot wide receiver. So I do like Christian Kirk this week. Man, we got Viscount in the building. Viscount says going to the game in Wembley. Oh, man, great deal, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Stephen Drakes, man, what's good? Is Hasty a stash? If so, would you drop someone like Gallup for him? Hasty is a stash. Matter of fact, I just picked up Hasty right now before I started the stream because ETN could go down at any time, and you want to make sure you have anytime that there's handcuffs out there for free, you go ahead and scoop them because these handcuffs can be great for your team down the line. Now, in terms of Gallup is pissing me off, but he's still a guy that I'm holding right now just because once Dak is healthy, that offense is going to look a whole lot better. So I might not drop Gallup. I might drop somebody like it just all depends on your league and the size and the amount of wide receivers you have. But, yeah, definitely stash Hasty. Mr. Curly Wolf says, I'm 1-6, so taking a shot. Traded Devontae Adams and DJ Moore for Justin Jefferson, thicket wide receiver with A.J. Brown or Olave behind. So I'm hoping for greatness. Yeah, that's a great trade for you, honestly. Devontae Adams, he's a tier under Justin Jefferson. DJ Moore doesn't give you much right now, and then what you have a depth at wide receiver, I see why you would go get Justin Jefferson. It's Justin Jefferson and Cooper Kupp and then everybody else. Oh yeah, Stephon Diggs. I'm sorry, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, and then everybody else. So yeah, you took a chance. I mean, I would have loved to see you trade DJ Moore for a running back, like a running back to the caliber of like even Deontay Foreman, somebody that can come in and help you right away. Because Devontae Adams is solid; he's very good, actually, just a tier under. But it's a great deal for you. You're 1-6. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? Viscount, your first game. Okay, it says no, been to a couple of games at Wembley. Live in the UK, man. Good deal, man. Hey, enjoy that game. Enjoy that game, man. When I come back on the stream, let me know your experience of that game. Looking at Carolina and ATL. ATL's offense is so bad. I'm not starting anybody on that ATL offense unless I have to. There are games that I have to start. I'll share, but I don't want to, right? Then you have Carolina with PJ Walker. This offense looks a lot better. Foreman is going to be the man this week with Chuba Hubbard being out. So start Foreman, man. Foreman is going to ball out this week against the weaker ATL defense. Both teams are weak. I think that Carolina possibly wins this game. And here's an interesting stat. Whoever that wins this Carolina and ATL game is going to be first place in that division because Tom Brady and Cole lost. So it's crazy right now. It's crazy times that we're living in right now to where a Tom Brady-led team is struggling. And they're 3-5? That's just crazy that the winner of this ATL and Carolina game will be first place in their division. So if Carolina wins, they'll be 3-5, but they'll be first place. I think that Tampa Bay needs Carolina to win this game. If ATL wins this game, they'll be 4-4, first place. Who would have actually imagined that ATL would be at this point right now? So that's just football for you. You just never know how things pan out those first 8 weeks. 8 weeks is when you usually know who a team is. So it's just funny that we've gotten to this point to where a Tom Brady-led team could be third place in their division, especially if Carolina wins. Now, moving ahead, Dallas plays Chicago. This could be the game that we've been waiting for Dak Prescott to actually come in and play well. If Dak plays well, that means Dalton Schultz played well. That means Michael Gallup played well. But this is the last week that I'm going to give guys like Gallup and Schultz. If both guys play bad, possibly get another goose egg by Gallup, then he's off my team. So this is the last week for me to see what Dallas can do as an offense. Is Dak Prescott overrated, rated, or just right? So the Bears, Justin Fields has been great all year as a runner, and when you're running, you gain a lot of points. So Justin Fields is a startable guy in 2 quarterback leagues or in leagues of desperation. I had Justin Fields. I dropped him to pick up Kadarius Toney after that trade. That's another thing. I think that the Chiefs trading for Kadarius Toney was great for them, but they were giving up a 3rd-round pick and a 6th-round pick. I understand you had 2 comp picks with an extra 3rd, but I was thinking that Kadarius Toney's value was way much lower. I get it. He's in the 2nd year of his rookie contract. So rookie contracts do hold value. This is a great come up for the Giants just to get a 3rd and a 6th for a player that wasn't even playing and a player that wasn't fitting in with their system. Let's go have a blast. It says Lakers and Packers. I'm down bad this year. I feel you, man. We're going to talk Lakers on another stream, man. I'm just so sick and tired of that team right now. For real. But moving on to the next game, you got Detroit versus Miami. I mean, it just is what it is. This is a game where Tua can come back, bounce back, play well. I see Tyreek Hill, Waddle, all these guys are going to get off versus Detroit. Detroit is not a good team. They're not good defensively, and they're barely good offensively. So I am starting Miami DST versus Detroit. But if DeAndre Swift plays, start him. If Amon-Ra St. Brown plays, start him. Reynolds. So this has a potential to be a shootout. Like if Detroit is healthy, they can put up points. It's like when they're not healthy. It's like when you don't give Goff his full complements of weapons. Then he looks kind of crazy. So, yeah, start everybody in Miami. Mostert could have a good game. Chase Edmonds, if you have him, just keep him on the bench. Have him stashed just in case Mostert goes down. But, yeah, next game I want to talk about is Minnesota versus Arizona. Start Kirk Cousins. This is a game where, Minnesota is trying to really show that they're a really good team this year with a 5-1 record. I would say Kyler Murray, you start him, right? DeAndre Hopkins played great last game with tons of targets, tons of catches. You start him. Outside of DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver wise, I'm not fooling with any other wide receiver on that team. That's just me personally. Also, Zach Ertz, he's up and down. I'm hoping for a big game out of Zach Ertz. On the Minnesota side, you start Justin Jefferson. But the true question is, are any other wide receivers going to step up? Is Thielen going to step up? Is Osborne going to step up? Okay? Dalvin Cook, we need more out of you. We need some touchdowns out of you. But I'm starting Dalvin Cook. I'm starting all of my big names, including Kirk Cousins, in this matchup. It has a potential to be a shootout as well. Moving on to the next game, you got Vegas versus the New Orleans Saints. Vegas is a terrible team. New Orleans is a terrible team. So two terrible teams collide, one being led by Andy Dalton. So, Vegas defense seems to be a streamable defense this week. Olave, man, with Michael Thomas being out, Jarvis Landry being out. These guys, look, I am done with Michael Thomas. And in Dynasty, I'm not fooling with a Michael Thomas. I've tried to tell people, trade that guy. When a player continues to miss consecutive weeks, it's not a good sign. This could end up being a season-long injury for Michael Thomas. Now, Olave to the moon. Even with Andy Dalton being a quarterback, he was able to target Olave. Olave continues to get targets, and Olave might end up leading all rookies in yards and potentially touchdown. Taysom Hill is a guy that I'm staying away from, even though we know what happens when he comes into the game. When Taysom Hill comes into the game, he limits what Alvin Kamara can do. Alvin Kamara continues to play good ball, but the problem with him is that he hasn't scored a touchdown, yet he's RB25 currently. So, moving along, we have New England versus the Jets. This is an interesting game, an intriguing game. As New England tries to inch back closer into this race between Miami and the Jets. The Jets are leading this division right now, 5-2. I would have never imagined that the Jets would be leading right now. But the Jets just lost Breece Hall for a year, right? They just traded for James Robinson. Is James Robinson really ready? Who knows? It might be more Michael Carter. So I feel more confident starting Michael Carter than any other running back in that Jets backfield. Also, you have the Patriots who are, solid. Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones. That's a quarterback controversy that they didn't want, but it just is what it is as of right now. Mac Jones is back. The coaches said that Mac Jones is going to play. Mac Jones needs to play well. If he doesn't play well, I'm telling you, if Mac Jones gets benched one more time, that's it for his job in New England. Then you're looking at trading a Mac Jones next year. Breaking news in the NBA world, Anthony Davis is out tonight. LeBron James and Westbrook are in, and LeBron and Westbrook is going to be coming off the bench. So we're going to see how that goes. But back to football. Yeah. I don't trust anybody on offense for the Jets, but if I must start somebody, it might be Michael Carter. In terms of New England, I don't trust anybody but Ramondre Stevenson. Ramondre Stevenson has been hot. Start him again with confidence. That's almost 3 to 4 straight 20-point games out of Ramondre Stevenson. He's tearing it up right now. Keep him in your lineups. Philly, Pittsburgh, interesting game. Pittsburgh is getting healthier on the defensive side especially, and then Kenny Pickett continues to get more and more comfortable with his role as a starting quarterback. He fell short last week, but don't be surprised if he plays better, even against a loaded Philadelphia Eagles defense. Philadelphia Eagles defense got to add another piece to their defense to make this defense even stronger than what it is. So what does that mean for Pittsburgh? That means start Philly's defense, but don't be surprised if Pittsburgh is able to put up some points or possibly put up some stats. Start George Pickens. I love him this week. Start maybe Claypool or Deontay. One of those two guys also are going to step up. It's just guessing who the right guy is. Definitely keep Pittsburgh's defense on the bench or stashed until Watt comes back. Once Watt comes back, that whole defense becomes something special. Jalen Hurts, start him. A.J. Brown and maybe Devontae Smith, both go off this week. Dallas Goedert is always a solid tight end, especially in the year that tight ends have been so bad. Miles Sanders is the surprise. He may play well, he may not play well, but I do have Sanders going in a few leagues. Also, Pick up a Kenneth Gainwell just in case Miles Sanders get hurt. I've told you guys over and over again, pick up handcuffs. Your entire bench should be nothing but handcuffs. Because I'm telling you, the way that these running backs are falling, they are just falling like flies. It's crazy the amount of injuries that we've seen this year, predominantly at the running back position. Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans. Two bad teams, but the Titans have played well previous weeks. Even though they're winning some ugly games, there's still points to be had in fantasy. The only player that I trust this week for the Titans is Derrick Henry. I don't trust the wide receivers for the Titans. I don't trust Tannehill. It's more of a grind out type game each week for the Titans. They're winning off of defense and field goals. For Houston, they're playing from behind a lot. So you want to look at guys like Brandon Cooks. If Brandon Cooks does not play, he might be getting traded. Pick up Philip Dorsett. Nico Collins is dealing with an injury as well. So pick up all these other receivers that are not Nico Collins and Brandon Cooks and just stash them on your bench just in case Cook gets traded. That way you'll have the number one wide receiver for the Houston Texans on your roster already. Dameon Pierce, start him. I mean, it couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt, right? If anything, he'll get you 10 points. So as running backs get you double-figure points, that's all you can ask for. The Washington Commanders versus the Indianapolis Colts. My favorite team, the Commanders. Wow. If they win this game, they're going to be 4-4, and they're going to possibly be at that seventh spot, which is that last wild card spot. But you can't be looking at a wild card spot right now in week 8. But just to say that this team has won 2 in a row and could possibly win 3 in a row with Sam Ehlinger coming in. Sam Ehlinger, even though he has not snapped really or really played in the NFL, he has running potential. He's an unknown. If Sam Ehlinger is available in your leagues, pick him up just in case he's that guy that can scramble like a Taylor Heineke and get you positive yards. You just never know. I have Washington winning this game. I'm starting guys like Terry McLaurin. I'm starting guys like Curtis Samuel, Heineke in 2 quarterback leagues. And then when it comes to their backfield, if you have to start Brian Robinson Jr., you start him. If you have to start Antonio Gibson, you start him. You just don't know who's going to pop in that backfield. It's a 3-headed backfield right now. So it's going to be kind of tricky each week to navigate. In terms of the pass catchers for Indy, we can't trust Michael Pittman right now because we have a new quarterback. Don't start Michael Pittman unless you have to. Also, Paris Campbell is a guy that I've picked up in numerous leagues. I have Paris Campbell going just because he's been targeted a lot. I know it was Matt Ryan targeting him, but you never know what you're going to get when a player is hot. And, by design, it could be by design. Coach is like, yo, get this guy the ball in the slot. And he's healthy this year, fairly healthy, and he's been doing well. So keep him in that role. 49ers versus the Rams. You got to be sick and tired of the Rams by now. Who knows? The Rams might trade for Kareem Hunt. We don't know. Maybe Darrell Henderson is the guy the rest of the year. Maybe they unload Cam Akers to a contender. Either way it goes, Cam Akers is not going to play another down for the Rams. Also, pick up Malcolm Brown just in case Henderson gets hurt, just in case the Rams don't trade for a running back. You want to be prepared at all times. This is a tough matchup. Christian McCaffrey gets his first crack at playing for the 49ers an entire scope of work in terms of getting, touches, yards, and things of that nature. So you want to go ahead and, get McCaffrey going. Also, Deebo Samuel is out. That's the biggest news today. Almost slipped my mind. Deebo Samuel is out. So what do? You start Brandon Ayuk. You also pick up a guy like Juwan Jennings and just have him just in case Deebo is out longer. You got to see how things go. You have to see how targets go. Ayuk should have a big game. You're looking at maybe 100 yards, maybe multiple scores. Even though Jalen Ramsey's there, they're going to pass the ball. And now with McCaffrey in the middle and George Kittle, that's another guy who could possibly get a lot of touches this week. So Jimmy Garoppolo is still a safe play this week. I have him going in a few leagues, but without Deebo Samuel, it kind of hurts just a little bit. Going on to the Giants and the Seattle Seahawks game. The Giants are 6-1. So Daniel Jones is a streamable quarterback this week. I trust Daniel Jones this week. They got rid of Tony. He never played anyways. Wan'Dale Robinson is a guy that I feel comfortable starting. Now, Seattle does have a pair of young rookie corners that are tearing it up right now. But at the end of the day, this could be a grind-out game. Saquon Barkley's there. So But I do see Wendell Robinson getting about 10 to 15 targets this game, especially if Seattle comes out with lead. Giants play pretty good defense on the Seattle's side. Obviously, Lockett with DK Metcalf possibly not playing. Marquise Goodwin has stepped in last game and played well. Marquise Goodwin is a guy that you want to have and you want to stash. You start him if you need help at wide receiver. We talked about the Green Bay game a little bit. Buffalo, man, they might be getting another running back. They might be getting another wide receiver. OBJ, I don't know. There's so many different rumors out there on what they could add. But feel confident in playing guys like Gabe Davis, even a guy like Stephon Diggs. Jaire Alexander played well last week, but he could not contain Terry. Terry was able to get off for, 6 for 70, 75 and 1. So Diggs can definitely do more than that. And if, Diggs is having trouble on this side, Gabe Davis has the potential to do more work on the opposite side. Look for guys like McKenzie. Look for guys like Cook and even Singletary. This might be the game that Cook plays and he balls out of control. So with all that being said, back to Green Bay. Like I said, it might be the Romeo Doubs and Robert Tonyan show, being that Lazard is out. Aaron Rodgers is going to struggle once again, or it just could be the Aaron Jones show. Maybe Aaron Jones gets more targets than anybody on the team. We don't know, but Rodgers does get the ball out quick. They're going to be sending a pass rush to this guy. Von Miller and Cole are going to be sending the pass rush. So I look for the quick screen, the quick pass to guys like Dylan and possibly Aaron Jones. So Aaron Jones is the only one I trust out of that backfield. And in terms of wide receivers, really I trust nobody on that wide receiver group. But if I had to trust somebody, it's gonna be Romeo Doubs. Now, the last game I want to highlight is the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. The Cincinnati Bengals have everything you can ask for. They have a franchise quarterback. They have 2 franchise wide receivers, but one is out. So Jamar Chase is out. T. Higgins is going to be the guy. Tyler Boyd is one of the better third wide receivers in the league. So he's going to step up and then pick up Mike Thomas in your leagues, stash him, because this offense does support 3 wide receivers. And with the way that T. Higgins has been getting hurt back and forth, Mike Thomas might just end up being a big add as the season progresses. Jamar Chase is out 4 to 6 weeks. I think he's going to be out the full 6 weeks, maybe even more. They're only going to bring him back when they feel he's fully healthy. Injuries suck. And my biggest advice to you guys playing fantasy football is to build the deepest team possible. You don't have to have handcuffs. You can have, a whole bunch of different guys from a whole bunch of different positions. Just make sure that your team is deep enough to where something happens. So, for example, I'm in a league where I have Jamar Chase, and he gets hurt. And I remembered, 2 weeks ago, I traded Jared Goff in a Superflex league for Chris Godwin. So I was able to plug him in. I got Rashad Bateman. He's looking kind of funny right now, but I got Chris Olave from the draft. So you always want to have multiple guys that you can throw out there. Now, obviously, every team is not going to be deep as mine, where you lose a Jamar Chase and you have a Chris Godwin, or you lose a Bateman and you have Olave. That's the beauty of dynasty leagues. You get to really build deep rosters and build your team how you want to build it. So my advice is to have at least 3 or 4 positions deep, especially in dynasty and in redraft. You want to make sure that you have a core of 4 solid wide receivers, and you always want to have a bench of 4 running backs, regardless. 4 solid wide receivers, superstar tight end, superstar quarterback, and then have a bench full of handcuffs. Just in case a DeAndre Swift gets hurt, guess what? You got Jamal Williams. Let's say Mixon gets hurt. You have Samaje Perine. So always make sure that your bench are filled with handcuffs, because you never know when you're going to need them. I'm telling you, it happens all the time. Just imagine having a handcuff like Ramondre Stevenson for a Damian Harris, and then wow, Stevenson pops and he's actually the best guy on that team. Or having a Khalil Herbert for Montgomery, and then next thing you know, he pops off. You're like, man, this guy right here is a real deal. So, guys, just keep your eyes peeled. Anything can happen this season. So this is a wild season. In terms of Cleveland, start Nick Chubb. Monitor if Kareem Hunt plays. If he doesn't play a lot, if he plays well, maybe they market him to some teams that are looking for different guys. So I don't know what's going to happen in that game or in any of these games, but hopefully what I was able to give you guys helped you guys out. If you're new to the channel, please like, please subscribe, please share. I'm going to catch you guys on the next stream. I wasn't feeling well today, but I wanted to come on here, show some love, and, definitely get with you guys and give you guys some fantasy advice like I've always done. I always do my starts and sits shows either on Thursday nights or Friday nights. I don't know how the rest of my week in the next up and coming weeks are going to go, but this is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. Love, peace, and I'll catch you guys on that next stream. I'm out. Peace.